are you?
Today we have the Jardines with us. They're a great mother-daughter band from Canada who are doing totally different kind of country music, which I've actually heard for the first time. It's a whole mixture of pop with roots, and there's even some blues in there somewhere when you listen to their music. So let's say hello to AJ and Cheryl.
Hello, I'm AJ.
I'm Cheryl. Thanks very much.
Because this is a compliment. Which one of you is the mother and which one of you is the...
Yay!
I'm the daughter.
I'm the mother.
The mother. We do get that asked quite frequently, though.
Okay, so about your band, it's a pretty unknown kind of configuration, a mother-daughter leading a band. How did that start, and how has it been? How's the experience like?
Well, it's really cool how it started. I'm a solo artist way before the Jardines ever started, and so I was getting ready to record my 4th album, and I asked AJ, you know, what about doing an album with your mom? And I thought she'd say no, and she said yes, and I was shocked. But it was great, and then from there it just progressed into this, you know, 2-album project where we have 8 people in the band, and just quite amazing. We absolutely love it.
Brilliant. And what genre were you doing on your own when you were solo? Was it the same kind of music?
Well, I like to think that I'm a rock chick, but I'm not. So it was probably always kind of folk rock, you know, a little pop rock. But
and what about AJ? What kind of music were you into when your mom asked you to make a band with her?
Well, actually, when I was younger, I was really into music. I studied classical piano, flute in high school and elementary school, and I was very heavily involved in softball. So I was a competitive pitcher in first base. I had pretty much my path laid out for me, go down to America and play for 4 years at a junior college or university. And then senior year, I started to discover, oh, I enjoy singing and acting, and I decided that that was something that I wanted to pursue, and so
that was it.
That was it, and the rest is history. But yeah, definitely, I know I'm very influenced by the pop and R&B and soul that's happening right now, and so I'm very excited for what's to come further.
So when you were growing up and when you were doing music, how big of an influence was your mom on your music and how you listened to it? What kind of music you listened to? Did you used to steal her records and listen to them?
I used to, yeah. No, she's a huge influence for me for pretty much who I am today. I couldn't have asked for a better mom. For real. I know that sounds cheesy, but it really is true.
I paid her $10 to say that.
No, but in all honesty, I mean, the music that I was exposed to when I was younger, I mean, none of my kids or none of my friends at that age were listening to Led Zeppelin or like Lynyrd Skynyrd,
whatever.
The Pretenders, and so I was really exposed to a whole...
So she really was a rock chick then back then.
She was! And you know what was so cool? I would put her in a bassinet, and when I was playing my solo acoustic shows, and I would basically just take her and put her on the stage. And so she was a little baby sitting on the stage going, Mom!
Performing.
I'd be like, shh, just wait.
You were performing together before she could even speak.
I was prepping her.
She was.
Priming her.
You performed quite some time ago then, wasn't it? Was it just 2010?
Oh, say that again? Her? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that means you guys formed the band ages ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Early.
I just couldn't talk.
1990.
So how did it go from you asking AJ to come and make music with you to becoming an 8-piece band, and you have Mark there with you as well? How did all of that come together?
It was just, it all fell in place, actually. We started recording the first album, and the gentleman that produced the album was a drummer. And so all of a sudden he was in the band, and then Mark was actually in my Cheryl Jardines solo project for 5 years before that. And so it was just a gimme that he was going to come along and be, you know, kind of in the next series of songs.
She made me.
I gave him $3 for that.
You $10 as well?
No, 3, only 3.
Inflation, that back then was 3 now.
Yeah, with inflation. Yeah, and
okay, so let's speak a bit to Mark as well.
Okay, cool.
Let's tell us about what's your link there? How did you get in there, and what do you do with this beautiful mother and daughter too?
I play keyboards and sing harmonies. Like Cheryl said, I was in her band before, so about 5 years there, I guess, on her solo project, and played in a bunch of other bands at the same time, and then the Jardines started, and I guess the first album was pretty much quite a bit recorded without me, I guess, at first, and then I was added on like icing on the cake, I guess, hopefully. And then much more involved in the second album. The second album is a lot more piano bass, I guess, than guitar before.
And Mark also, he co-produced the album with me, this new one.
He does look like a producer.
Yeah, he's got that look.
So, just talking about your involvement in the band, what's your creative process like? It's an 8-piece band, and different bands have different ways to go about these things. Maybe sometimes there's one guy who writes everything. Sometimes all 8 get together and jam to a song and they make it. How do you guys work? How does your music come out?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
So between my mom and I, we've done all the songwriting up until this point, and so
Mark actually wrote on.
Right, the second album.
Tuesday too.
Sorry, yes, yeah. Mark did do some co-writing as well.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Mostly you, don't worry.
No. And so what we would do is we would go into the studio with our songs. We would do our bed tracks. Is that what they're called? Mm-hmm. The bed tracks. And then we built the song up instrument by instrument. And so we would bring our players in when needed, and then they would add their own flair. We would spend hours cutting different parts of lap steel that we liked, and then it starts with a good foundation of the song itself, and then we would slowly build up, and then we would have the machine.
The machine.
Actually, maybe talk about All Fall Down a little bit, because that's one song that didn't go through that same process.
All Fall Down, it's my nemesis. It's one of those songs. It's a really great song, but what happened was when I wrote it, I just kept saying, no, we're not going to do this, and I kept throwing it away, and finally Mark had the brilliant idea of breaking it up, so I sing a line, AJ sings a line, and he sings a line, we sing a line together, and it's beautiful. It just turned out.
We also took all the drums out of it at first.
Oh, yeah.
Played it basically just acoustically, then did that thing with her singing a line and AJ singing the next line, and then the three of us together, and it worked pretty good that way, and then we added the drums back in, and it sort of magically worked.
Yeah.
It was cutting. I wanted to cut it.
Your albums, let's move a bit towards music. Your albums, the first one, I heard a few tracks off of that, and I heard the second one. I would assume you've gone more AJ's towards what AJ, the kind of music she likes. She said she's more into the popish side of music. You're obviously into the more real music, what people call real music. You got the rock and your classical music and your soul and your blues and jazz. That's what is categorized as real music. So the second album, you've gone a bit, it's a bit more poppy than the last one. So it's country pop more than country roots.
Yes.
How did that change happen? Was that a decision you made, or is it just how it developed?
I think it's developed because we've kind of married our musical tastes together now, which is really, it's a wonderful place to be at. I can't wait for the next album, actually.
Yeah.
Yes,
and definitely the more focus on piano definitely helped influence a more pop vibe too.
He's the pop king.
Our stuff, he's the pop king. You know, just like with piano, it's so easy to get those hooks and those melodies and counter melodies.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I do it all the time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody, but you know, if you have that feel for what can you get stuck in your head in a good way, then
the hook. Mark's the hook master. Hooker. Cut that.
So this means on the next album you're actually paying Mark at least $20.
At least.
I think 25. He's gonna
maybe a buffet dinner too.
Oh.
That's fair enough. So tell us about your next album. What are the plans for that? What's it called? When's it coming out? What can we look forward to? It's
going to be out next year. We're going to Nashville, actually, AJ and I, in November, and so we're going to be doing some writing down there with some other writers, and we're doing some showcasing, and so we're probably projecting towards the later part of next year to have not a whole album. We're actually going to do it a little bit different this time. We're going to release singles with video. So that's kind of the way that we're going to be going.
And definitely,
I was gonna move to that. Is the way you're actually releasing your music. You've been around for this is the third year since you guys formed the band, and you've had 2 albums out. But how are you taking it now, marketing wise? Because a lot has changed since 2010 as far as selling your album and your music is. So how do you guys handle the whole marketing side? Who takes care of that, and what are you doing with it?
We kind of take turns on it. Social media is huge for us. Facebook, I'm a Facebook addict, I have to admit. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But that's my thing. And, you know, we have Reverb Nation, which is a really great platform also for artists. What else are we doing right now? Twitter's
we'll be
big.
getting Instagram soon. That's my forte.
Yeah, and YouTube also. I mean, I think it's really important to have visual. People are, you know, I mean, everything happens so fast now. People want to see whatever you're doing. So we're going to be
becoming a part of music more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely with.
So what about? Tell us about, because this is going to be watched by people all over the world. What's the music business like in Canada? We all kind of have an idea about the States and the UK, how music sells over there, how you get popular. But the stage you're at now, what does a band like yourself do? You have great music. You're going to be making more great music in the future. But what's the best way for you do you think, to sell it, to make sure people actually hear it?
We want to come to you. We want to come to the UK.
That's actually a good idea. Your music is going to be really popular in festivals over there.
Yeah.
People love the country and the groovish touch you have. It's a very British touch in there as well. Well, people do love around it.
The thing about Canada too is we don't have the population to support, right? So, you know, if we could break into the States or Europe, you know, that would be, we'd get more people that we could, you know, get our music to.
Canada is known for their musical exports, like Celine Dion and Justin Bieber.
Yeah, and it's not all that
you guys have
honest.
Massive shoes to fill, baseball shoes, basketball shoes.
Basketball shoes. Or cowboy boots.
Yeah, we got our cowboy boots on.
So tell us about this. Tell us about this new album. What kind of people should go out and buy it? What kind of people would be interested in listening to what music you're presenting on Someone's Stolen Tuesday?
I think, you know, our audience is so vast age-wise. I always like to say from 8 to 80. You know, that's a huge span of age, but there's something in it for everybody, for everybody's age, whatever they're going through, I think.
Yeah, definitely our own.
Is there a certain kind of crowd that your shows attract?
You know what's funny? Mothers and daughters love us. It's crazy. They come out and they always say, "Oh, we wish that we had a relationship like yours," and because we do have a really good relationship. You know, it's like
most of the time. I was a good kid. Okay,
she was a really good kid.
I never got
so you're
in
making
trouble.
up for it now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm making up. Now that I'm 23, I'm just and
so I think definitely
I'm a rebel.
She's a rebel
Got my
now.
nose pierced.
Yeah, it's like
tattoos. Watch out.
Yeah, so I think that's our.
Don't go all hip hop on your band, though.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just wait till the next album.
Just kidding.
Hip hop country.
And also, the other audience we have, men really like us too. We have a large male audience. The mother-daughter thing seems to be catching on. Quite popular.
Great. So who does all the? I've heard a few of your tracks, and to be honest, I cannot tell if there's 2 voices or one. I can tell at some places. I know I haven't spoken to you before. I haven't heard your music in the past a lot, but I can tell where Sherelle is singing. She has a more of a jazzy tone, if I may. I think that's.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You have a more a vintage tone, which is really nice tone to have in the kind of music you're doing. And AJ does sound like the music she likes. But who normally? How do you decide who's going to do what part of the vocals?
Well, it's basically whoever writes the song is usually the lead, and then Mark is amazing. He's the harmony guy. I mean, he can work the harmonies really good for us.
Brings it down to a science almost.
Yeah, so that's where everything blends really beautifully together.
So does it ever happen that Sherelle, you write a song and then you think it's going to sound better in AJ's voice?
Yeah.
Or maybe AJ writes something that you can do. Do you actually? What do you do then? Do you let the other person sing it?
Yeah.
There's a couple on the album.
There is
a couple on the album that she wrote for me.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to get 3 songs that I wrote myself onto the album.
I let her this time.
She let me. Well, the first album I wasn't
She wasn't
mature
ready
enough
yet,
with
you know.
my songwriting, and
You just didn't have enough money. You paid her this.
I did pay her.
That's right.
I said, please. But on the album, I wrote Torn, Crazy World, and Waste on You.
Yeah, and so I wrote a song called Blame It on the Kiss, and it just had a really youthful flair to it, and that's, you know, definitely something that AJ, I think, could sing and kick it really good. So
Wait,
and,
she's younger than you?
She's a little bit younger, yeah.
Oh.
This is my
Slightly.
daughter. She's my daughter. I know. It's crazy.
Only by like 5 years.
5
though.
years. I went
Don't
forward in
ask.
time, and then I came back
time
and
traveled.
I'm a time
That
traveler.
makes more sense. That makes more sense.
Yes.
It has more of a serious tone compared to your other music. And Ada, you wrote that one, right?
I did, yes.
Okay. And is this musicians normally enjoy writing a certain kind of song? As someone would like actually enjoy writing sadder songs. Some people like writing more the happy stuff. What comes more easily to you? Which ones do you enjoy writing?
It really depends on the mood that I'm in. I have an acting background. I just finished my bachelor's degree in theater performance at Simon Fraser University here in Vancouver, BC. So it's a very big accomplishment. So with that acting background, I can put myself into a safe place where I can feel whatever emotion I want to feel without letting it affect my personal life. And so
That's a really, really good skill to have as a musician.
Yeah.
it's very
Okay.
important, I find,
You
because
can never go the Jeff Buckley route or the Kurt Cobain route. You can separate yourself from what you're writing.
yeah, and I find that that's the most important and safest way for
It's a safe way.
a songwriter to enter those kind of worlds. I mean, I'm in a very happy relationship long term, and I have to remind my boyfriend sometimes this song is not about you, I promise. Just because sometimes he's like, is this about, like, did I do something? I'm like, no, not at all. Not at all. And
Imagine how Adele explains her albums.
Yeah, no kidding.
Everything is about. Okay, let's move on from Adele. Speaking of Adele, what are from the music industry now? A lot of people must be bands that are not mainstream yet. A lot of people that tell them, you sound like this person or you sound like that person. What do you guys get told the most?
We don't really get
Oh.
anything. People have a really hard time kind of pigeonholing us, and I think that's a good thing in a way, you know, to kind of create your own. I don't know. What do you think, Mark?
yeah.
Who would you think that we sounded like?
Sounded like
Yeah.
is hard. You get the comparison to the Judds just because of the
Judds.
mother-daughter thing, but it's
We are way cooler than the Judds.
Kind of falls short of.
But they're
of
really
what we're
lovely.
doing. I don't know. It sounded like I don't know.
Yeah, see, it's great.
What's that, Lady Antebellum kind of stuff, sort of, except for it's not a guy and a girl. It's 2 females, so something like that, I
So
guess.
that's close enough.
I think we'll like to leave that up to our listening audience. Maybe they can tell us who they think.
I think what you, from what I've heard of your music, you guys, you have a different feel in every song, which is how it should be. Every song should feel like whatever the song's mood is, which is really good in your music. What I've heard is if it's a happy song, the time signatures and everything is going to be happy, so I'm going to be happy listening to it, which is it's a really good thing you guys do. Now, speaking of, we're speaking to RJ, and speaking about your acting background, you said that you didn't say it, you have a modeling career. You've actually been doing a lot of shoots, and they're all over the internet. I've seen a few.
Oh, you have?
Impressive work. But
Thank
tell us
you.
a bit about that. What are your aspirations? Are you gonna actually pay more attention to modeling as well, or are you gonna, if the chance comes, if you have to choose, are you gonna stick with the band and keep modeling about?
No pressure.
Yeah. Thanks
No,
for asking that.
For me right now, because I'm recently graduated, I'm only 23 years old. For me, opportunities are endless. At this point, I just want to put my foot in any door that will let me walk through it. This modeling competition that I'm in right now is great. It's created by John Gaddis. He's a Vancouver photographer. And the competition is called Strike a Pose. It's all over Facebook, and I'm currently in the top 5. Our photo is now out at facebook.com/strike4pose. And so you can see
And
me.
vote.
Yes, and
You have to vote for her and like it.
Yes, it's by
and share
hitting
it.
the like, and our voting ends tomorrow
Don't get on
on
it.
Wednesday. Yeah. And but yeah, it's been an incredible experience. I've always really enjoyed modeling, but when I was younger, just the opportunities never happened. And then a friend of a friend posted this competition, and I thought, hey, why not? I don't know if I'll get picked, and then I did. And then I've slowly progressed a knack for it, and just learning about what is it about myself that I can express that no one else could express. You know, like what makes me unique as a person, as a creator, and yeah, so.
So do you actually, have you ever gotten any acting offers yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Are you actually actively pursuing it? Are you going to get a manager?
That's the plan.
Can we look forward to you starring next to Tom Cruise?
Oh,
I would
that'd be
love
cool.
to.
No kidding.
I'd love to. Definitely in the fall for me is when I'm gonna plan to fully pursue it and look for an agency here in Vancouver
After Nashville.
after Nashville.
And after all the people that have watched this,
Yeah,
have
exactly.
contacted her.
Yeah.
But you know,
Steven Spielberg is watching right now.
Yay!
hello.
Yeah, hello.
Imagine if he actually does watch it. That would be really freaky for that guy.
That would be and to hear
kidding.
his name.
I hope people are enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, by the way, tell people who are watching right now. Please tell them how they can get in touch with you, where they can find your music, how they can find out where you're performing next.
Everything right now is on our www.thejardinesband.com. So go there, you can see pictures, videos, where we're playing, you can listen to our songs, and we actually answer all the emails, so definitely send us an email. We'd love to hear from you.
Great, that's brilliant. Okay, we're reaching towards the wind-up part now. So we've talked about the past and the present. Let's talk a bit about the future. Every band has a bit of at least a year kind of plan in their head somewhere. I see in a year that when that guy does this and this gets recorded and that video gets uploaded there, this is going to happen. What do you guys see in the near future? What's happening on your end?
I think just doing more recording. AJ and I actually doing writing together because we haven't really done that yet. We've always written separately, so that's going to be a big stage for the next series of songs. And lots of performances. I mean, we want to travel. We haven't really had a chance to do that too much outside of Canada. We did go to Liverpool. We played at the Cavern Club, which was really fun, with the International Pop Overthrow last year. So we want to do more of those things and just kind of get out there. Yeah, we're going to Nashville, yeah. So I think that's just progressing.
People can look forward to a lot of your live performances and new music, which all of you can go to the website and just find it there. We're going to have links placed all over this interview and video as well, so just click somewhere if you can't remember the website.
That's right.
And you'll find these beautiful ladies, and you can listen to their beautiful music, and hopefully buy tickets from our website as well.
Yes.
Concerts in Nashville, and hopefully someday in London as well, right?
I hope so.
yeah.
We'd love to come over and see you. Definitely.
Where do you see yourself? What's the biggest arena? Is it Wembley or is it O2? Which kind of, or is it MSG? What kind of arenas are you looking at to go?
Well,
I'd say
yeah.
O2.
O2, is that like, everyone has their dream, I want to stand on that stage.
The Grand Ole Opry. The Grand Ole Opry.
Grand Ole Opry, that's
Yeah.
your...
Oh, just
would
to
be
stand there would be the ultimate.
Just
It'd be like, actually, when we played in Liverpool, we kissed the stage because so many amazing artists have played in that room before us. So we kind of.
I kissed the wall too.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not kissing the stage. People walk on that.
The wall's okay.
Well, great people walk on that, that's why you kissed it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's brilliant. That's what you get from musicians who actually respect music. That's how you get good music. Is when someone respects music, respects people who've done it well. They can only create good music. So thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for the great live performances.
And one more thing, can we just thank Jonathan for all his work that he did today? Do you want to give him a big shout out for his studio?
Thank you to Jonathan Flogville.
No.
Sorry,
No.
Fluvog.
Fluvog.
Jonathan Fluvog. Don't want
At-
to butcher it.
I
At
tried to say that.
Yeah.
Jonathan Fluvog at Vogville Studios.
Studios.
There you go.
Yeah.